What's up guys, Rhino here and welcome to my latest FIFA 19 video. And this one guys is going to be my final squad builder on the web app. Obviously I've already shown you guys 3 different teams from 3 different leagues that you could potentially build for the release of the new FIFA 19 game. This is going to be yet another one of the major leagues, and it's going to be the Bundesliga this time. Now, in my personal opinion, just from looking at these teams on paper, this is probably the best one yet. I would say I've somehow managed to save the best till last. I mean, we started off with a cracker with a Prem. Serie A was not too bad, it's fairly solid. BBVA was a little bit of a downer, in my opinion. I don't think it was like that good. It's actually the cheapest one. It was only like about 13,000 coins for the start 11 and about 20k for the entire squad. I'm not sure if I mentioned it in that video, something I kind of missed, so I thought I'd just kind of point that out to you guys quickly in this one. But yeah, I'll move on to this one, guys. I mean, I couldn't really find a fault in many areas, but there's some decent backup players as well. We'll kick it off in goal. We got Galaxy. Now, this is probably, it's not exactly a weak player to have, but maybe the weakest. He's 6'3", which is why I was fairly comfortable picking him. The only thing that kind of put me off is because I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm pretty sure he used to be one of our backup goalkeepers like years ago, and he just never really did anything. I'm guessing he was just really young at the time, and I just didn't, maybe I just didn't know a lot, as like, or maybe like as much about football as I do now. I didn't really consider that he would get better, because clearly he's been doing a good job at RB Leipzig. And his stats are not too bad as well, like 81 diving, 80 reflexes, 79 handling, 76 kicking, 76 position, fairly solid bog standard goalkeeper, nothing too outrageously special about him, but yeah, not a bad player just to have between the sticks at the start. He's literally 400 coins, so I mean that might be a bad thing. I might say that he's really kind of shit, but just to put it as plain and simple as that. But he'll be alright. I would have thought it'd be fine. At right back, we got Mitchell Weiser. Now, people who played FIFA 18 will remember him. He was fairly decent right back to have at the start of the game. He's got 84 pace and 84 dribbling. I mean, for a defender, that's phenomenal. That is really good. Like, his defensive stats are not actually that good. I mean, you look at the guy and you think he probably should be like a right wing back, maybe right mid, but he's down as a right back. He's only about 1,100 coins, which isn't too bad. So he'd be a decent player just to have at the start. Pace is probably all you need, really, as a starter player. As much as it might not be as effective this year, I'm sure it should still help a little bit. Going into the centre of defence, we've actually got a perfect link. There's 2 RB Leipzig centre-backs who are both French, and they both look absolutely incredible. You've got this guy, Mukiele, who's got 81 pace. I mean, 81 pace as a centre back. I mean, that's scary. 77 defending, 75 physical as well. I mean, they're not too shabby stats. I mean, I've mentioned before how obviously players with these sort of stats are low rated. The other stats aren't that great, but do we really care? I mean, he's not going to be on the ball that much. As soon as he wins the ball back, I'm just going to release it to like a midfielder or a fullback, or somebody who's a little bit more technically gifted. So he'll be absolutely fine. I think, like, look, in terms of height, it's like 6'1". It isn't too bad. The only kind of thing that lets him down is he has high attacking work rate to go to high defensive, but you can deal with that. I mean, because he's got the high defensive to kind of balance it out. He's not going to be storming forward all the time. He should be okay. And to partner him, we've got Upamecano. I hope I said that right. He's got 79 pace, 74 defending, but 80 physical as well. So he's looking pretty similar to Mukiele. Very, very well rounded in all the kind of stats I look for in a defender. 6'1" again. He has medium, which is probably not as bad as high. It would be nice if he had high defensive work rate, but it's, it might not be too bad. You can probably live with it. Just at the start of the game. 3-star weak foot as well, not too bad. Put him on the left side of the defence. Those 2 guys come in at, well, Mukiele is 2,400 coins and Upamecano is 1,900 coins. So I think Mukiele is literally just because of the 81 pace. When people see that, they just think, wow, like, you want to try him essentially. At left back, again, I've gone for a left wing back, so make sure you guys search left wing back in the concept squads. Yeah, obviously if you're going just through left back and you're like, oh, where is he? I can't find him. Has he made up a player? Nope, he is under left wing back, and this guy is called Nico Schulz. So he's got 87 pace, which is fairly solid. Kind of like average defensive stats at 72 defending, 72 physical. But he does have 72 passing as well, which is quite nice, and 77 dribbling, which means he's going to be a bit of a threat going forward as well, which is, I'm guessing, why he's left wing back and not left back. 5'11" as well is a nice height for an attacking fullback. Obviously, you know, if he was a little bit taller, it'd be quite good for like defensive reasons. But as an attacking fullback, which is obviously why he's a left wing back, yeah, that's a good solid height to have. 2-star weak foot kind of lets him down. Skill moves don't really bother me in a defender. Obviously he's left foot, playing on the left side, so that's quite nice as well. I've got a bit of a thing where I don't like having fullbacks that have the, you know, like the wrong foot. So like Ashley Young as a left back, I don't like it. I like my fullbacks that just be run down the wing, cross it in. As like the natural side. But that's just me. He's about 1,200 coins as well, so he's pretty affordable. Into the midfield looks great. This is one of the things which really kind of made me think, you know, this is the league I want to go for. So you've got Thomas Delaney in midfield. His stats for a 79, he's 6 foot, he has high work rates, which is absolutely perfect. Left footed as well, so you get a nice balance to your team. 4-star weak foot, so which is always good for a midfielder, because if you ever do need to just shoot on your right foot as like a bit of a pot shot, then you can do that. The stats are brilliant. I mean, 75 pace, he can get about the pitch. 74 dribbling, he's going to be fairly composed on the ball. Not going to be, you know, if somebody comes near him, he'll be able to get away fairly sharpish. 73 shooting is his lowest stat, but again, because he's got 4-star weak foot, that might not be too bad. 78 defending means he's quite solid, so you can see straight away this guy can do both sides of the game. 75 passing, fairly respectable. There's a lot of players out there that have got worse, and 83 physical as well. To go with his 6 foot height, I mean, you've got some player there. This boy's going to be good. He's like 3,400 coins. One of the more expensive players out of all the squads again. Sort of about the limit I'm kind of really willing to spend, but when you see those kind of stats, I mean, you just got to go for it. I mean, you see a player like that and you just think, wow, like, give him to me. His midfield partner would be Renato Sanchez of Bayern Munich. Obviously he's back at Bayern now because obviously when he initially signed, he didn't really get that much game time, didn't really manage to break into the team. Whether or not that was because he wasn't that good or it's just because of the quality they already had, he kind of struggled in that sense. Then when he went to Swansea, he just had a torrid time at Swansea. But to be honest, it's difficult for him because Swansea as a club had a torrid time. You know, they went down, so it's difficult for him. Difficult for a player going into a new league, especially when the side gets relegated. You can't expect him as a youngster to come in and turn them around and drag them out of that mire. So I wouldn't sort of judge him too much just on that season. He's back at Bayern now. He did score a goal in the Champions League on the first match day, which is good for him. So you never know. He could turn it around. We could see the Renato Sanchez that we saw at the Euros, which would be nice. But obviously, you know, the dip in form last year is why he's only got 75 rated card. But his stats are still pretty good. 77 pace and dribbling, which is quite solid for a midfielder. Only 72 shooting, but he's never been known as like an attacking midfielder. 70 defending, 69 passing. It's not brilliant, but you might just get away with it. And the 81 physical, that's obviously the stat that he's always been renowned for, because he is quite sort of like, he's quite chunky and quite robust on the ball, and very much like a powerful kind of box-to-box midfielder. So that's why he got the physical stat. 5'9", high work rates, 4-star weak foot, pretty solid. I mean, considering he's almost classed as a silver player, that is pretty good stats. He's only 1,100 coins as well, so easily obtainable for you guys if you want to try him out. Hopefully he'll be as good as he was like 2 FIFAs ago, when he was a really good player for what he was. In the attacking midfield, obviously this is a 4-3-3 attack formation, so we've got 2 centre mids, a cam, left wing, right wing striker. So in the cam slot, bit of an unusual player for this position. We've got Bruma. So, he's always been a left winger. Maybe had one season a right winger, but I predominantly know him as a left winger. But he's obviously been playing in cam for Leipzig. He's got this new card, and he's obviously a 92 pace, 85 dribbling in the middle of the pitch is going to be scary. I think a lot of people might even change him to a striker, because if you've got that running at centre backs, it's going to be terrifying for the opponent. A bit of a shame with his shooting and his passing, but I think that is probably because he isn't really a natural attacking midfielder. He's more of a natural winger. You look at the stats, and that is the stats you'd associate with a winger. But nonetheless, he could be a pretty interesting player to try out at the early stages of this game. 5'8" as well. Again, similar to what I said about Moses Simon in the previous video, he's going to be like a slippery eel in the centre of the pitch. He will just slide in and out of players and, wriggle away in the tightest small gaps, and he'll be, people will struggle to touch him. High medium work rates as well, which is not too bad. Right foot, he's got 4-star, 4-star. I mean, you could want 5-star, 5-star, but there's not many people out there that do. So in terms of a cheap sort of OP player, I don't really see anyone going to ask for much more. He's 3,000 coins, so whether or not that's because of the position and that's kind of got people hyped to use him, that could be, probably is quite a big factor. But obviously people looking at him as well and thinking that he's going to be very, very valuable to them in the early stages of the game this year, which is why he's obviously got that bit of a price. Into the front three. It's a very nice front three, I have to say. So on the right there's Pulisic, 91 pace, 84 dribbling, very good stats. Shooting's not overly brilliant, passing's kind of average, but I think he should be okay because he's got a good weak foot. He's got 4-star, 4-star. I'm pretty sure he had like 5-star weak foot last year or the year before maybe, but still 4-star's pretty good. Good height as well, and he's only going to improve. Like, he's the player who could possibly have the potential to get like a winter upgrade or something, so he might be even better later on in the game. He's only 1,200 coins at the moment, possibly because of the shooting stat. People might look at him and think there's not too much end product, but he's certainly somebody I would definitely love to try out. On the other side there is Yevhen Konoplyanka, Ukrainian winger from Schalke, 87 pace, 81 dribbling, pretty good. 76 shooting, 76 passing as well, so he's one of these players who he's got the usual stats you'd associate with a winger, the pace, the dribbling, but this guy's got end product. This guy, he could be very, very useful. He's only 3,000 coins. I mean, I say only, but I suppose in the sort of like the state of these teams, he's pretty expensive. But in general on the market, I think that's going to be a fairly cheap player to try and get hold of. And I can't really see how you can go wrong with him. 4-star, 4-star, 5'10", left winger. He's going to be good. I would be expecting a lot when I use him, is what I would say. I think every time you get into a shooting position with him, you'd expect him to score. Whereas Pulisic, you would expect, maybe like 50-50 in terms of like shots on target and shots going off target. Konoplyanka, most of his shots are going to be going on target. He's going to force a lot of saves. Probably the main goal source in this particular team, even though there's obviously like Rebic here, who's the next and final player in starting 11 to actually talk about. I think Konoplyanka would still be up there with the amount of goals he would get. Rebic is about 1,100 coins. I'm surprised he's not a higher rating after the way he played at the World Cup. Some of the players in like the top end of the game, some of the rating boosters they got for their performances at the World Cup were ridiculous. And this guy, I thought he would have been maybe like 82 at least. He was such a workhorse for Croatia. His stats are pretty good. I mean, this is why I've included him, because he's got great stats in all the areas that you need as a striker. 85 pace, 79 dribbling, 78 shooting, 81 physical as well. He's going to be a good finisher, I think. If he's anything like what he's like in real life, he'd be a good finisher. He's 6'1". Obviously, he's only got 3-star weak foot, which could be like a factor why he's not a bit more expensive. But he's somebody I want to try out. I really enjoyed watching him at the World Cup, and I want to be able to try and like replicate those kind of performances that he put in, even though he played a bit more off to the left at times because of like Mandzukic in the team. He'll be quite interesting to use. Also, I'm really surprised that he still plays for Frankfurt. So they obviously won like the German Cup, and then he scored in the final against Bayern. But I thought he would have got a big move after the World Cup he had. Most players, you know, if they get spotted at the World Cup, if they stand out, they end up moving from these small clubs pretty quickly. But he stayed at Frankfurt. I don't know if he had people that were trying to get hold of him, but you know, he stayed there. Whether that's down to loyalty, I don't know. But I'm certainly very surprised that he's still there. In terms of backup players, guys, I've got 5 again. I've not filled up the entire bench, just trying to make the video a little bit more of a, you know, like a bearable time. So we've got a backup striker to Rebic. We've got Player. I don't know how you pronounce that guy's name. I've never watched him. I've never heard a commentator actually say it, but he's got really good stats. His face card stats look so good. 83 pace, 78 dribbling. He has 81 shot. I mean, not many of the strikers we've looked at so far have got that to go with their good pace. 75 passing. How many strikers have we seen that have only got like 60 passing and not going to be very good for link-up play? This guy will be able to do it. 75 physical as well. He's going to be able to put himself about. Obviously, he's going to have fairly good jumping, like winning headers, stuff like that. He's 5'11", so hopefully the physical is on the jumping stat to help out that height. High medium work rate is pretty good for a striker. Right foot, he's got 4-star skills, so any of you skillers out there, you can do a few of your various, I don't know, your scoop turns or whatever it is you guys do. 3-star weak foot's a little bit of a letdown, but that's probably why he's a little bit cheaper. But I mean, this guy, he's 3,000 coins. Again, it's understandable that he's one of the, out of all the players that I've mentioned in all these various squads, he's one of the top end players. His card looks incredible. So he's the slightly more expensive option for this particular league if you didn't want to go for Rebic. If you do think, oh, 1,100 coins, maybe it's because he's not very good. So you could go for Player. I don't know what he's called. We'll move on to this guy. Again, I mean, I could butcher his name. I've always called him Ntep, but it could be a silent N. It could just be Tep. I'm going to call him Ntep though. He's about 1,400 coins. He's always been quite good. Like last couple of years, I think like 2 years ago he was really overpowered for some reason. 85 pace, 81 dribbling, 71 shot, 71 passing, 72 physical. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all. He's right-footed, if I remember rightly. 5'11". Not that good work rates, but he's got a good weak foot as well. He'd be a decent player. Maybe not as good as Conor Blanca, which is why I put him on the bench, but certainly he's still going to be a threat if you want to try him out. Back up for Pulisic on the right, there is this guy called Harit, or Harit. I'm going to say Harit. He's got 83 pace, 84 dribbling, not too bad. In terms of like end product and all his other stats, he doesn't look that impressive, which is why he only comes in about 800 coins. He is a non-rare as well, I believe. So yeah, he's definitely he's non-rare. Well, just looking at the shape of the card actually there, but I know for a fact that Renato Sanchez is non-rare and he's still the same shape. I'm sure he's non-rare. I think he doesn't cut in, but he's got 4-star skills, so he's not bad. He's a youngster, so he'll be somebody probably for like in a couple FIFA's time maybe. But if you wanted to give him a go, then obviously you can. Second to last player, guys, if I can get it to come up, we have got this guy in defence now, Akanji, the Swiss Borussia Dortmund centre back. He is about 2,500 coins now. Obviously, 80 pace. That's going to be a big factor. 70 dribbling as well is really good for a centre back. I can't stress how like impressive that is for a centre back. Passing's not great. Obviously, you can't shoot, but 78 defending, 77 physical. Again, very respectable defensive stats. Pretty solid. when you put it all together, you get a pretty good blend, and a player that should be quite good, and that's obviously why he's got a bit of a price tag on him. Being 6'2" as well, the work rates aren't quite perfect, but it's not too bad. You know, weak foot and all that kind of stuff it's not disaster, but certainly I think he would potentially be better than one of these two, maybe Upamecano. I only put these two as the pair just because of the chemistry side of it. Like if you imagine having Upamecano, Mukiele and Galaxy, you can literally have dead links off all of them. So like these two guys, they've got essentially like 3 green links coming off them, because the perfect link is like having 2 green links. They got another one here, so you could have like 3 dead links off these guys. So you can basically just make any other team you wanted if you wanted to have this little trio. So that was kind of like my reasoning behind it. But if you wanted to put a Kanji in, then by all means you could do so. I'm sure there's plenty of other different players you could put in to make that team work. I know there's a good right back called Toljan. I'm pretty sure he's got a 91 pace. He was a little bit too expensive for this team, but if you wanted to put a Kanji there and put Toljan there, and then you could have this little Dortmund kind of like quartet going on, I mean, that would be really good. It's just a little bit out of the budget that I was kind of going for, but that's certainly an option you guys could take up if you've got a little bit more coinage on you at the start. And the final player to end on, guys, for this video is Abraham. He was pretty good last year as well. Similar kind of stats, really. He's got a 79 pace. He was always pretty rapid. Solid defending and physical as well. 79, 77. 79 overall, so he's clearly not a bad player. 6'2", it's not too bad. I mean, that's pretty poor, I have to say. The weak foot and the skill is pretty poor. But yeah, he's just one of those kind of like fast defenders who is an option if you want to try him out, but I wouldn't say that he would make it into my team ahead of any of those other 3. But you might have liked him last year and you might want to try him out again. That's why I've included him there. He's about 2,600 coins, so there are clearly people out there who think that he will be pretty good, and they want to try him out. In terms of how much these players come to in total as like an overall start 11, it's about, well, I've got written down 19,800 coins, so we'll call it 20k, which is actually making this one the most expensive out of all of the teams that are put together. And as a squad, although when you include those other 5 players on the bench, it comes to about 30k, so it's a bit more expensive. If you've got the coins, I would go for it. I'm not going to go for the BBVA. Obviously, you know, the game is like pretty much here now. The next video I show you guys, I will be on the console playing, so I need to kind of decide now which squad I'm going to go for, and I'm pretty well. I'm going to go for 2 because of like the fitness side of the game. So I'm not going to be able to afford any like squad fitnesses or individual fitness cards or anything like that at the start. So I'm going to be buying 2 teams if I can. So then I'm just going to play, I'm not going to bother having like a bench or anything like that. I'll just have 2 start 11s, so I'll just swap between the 2, so they're always on like 99 fitness. So I'm going to be going for Bundesliga and also the Premier League as well. Whether or not I go for these exact 11s that I've given you guys, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to afford them. I mean, look, I've got like 3,500 coins. Depends how I get on with some of these like SBCs and stuff when the game drops. And any like different packs I get given, like the ones that you get in the pre-order thing. I think I get like a 15k pack or something like that. You never know, I could get somebody big in that. Fingers crossed. But yeah, it's gonna be like just gonna be interesting to see how it goes. Really, like I said, I don't know exactly the players I'm gonna get, but these are the suggestions and these are the type of teams I would like to get hold of. So yeah, just kind of be prepared for maybe like a couple changes, but I'm going to be going for Bundesliga and Prem. Serie A was fairly solid, but nothing kind of blew me away about that team. And BBVA just kind of was a bit of a letdown. I mean, they never really seem to have that many good sweaty players in that league. It's always just kind of like the top end players, like who are obviously like unbelievable. So like you obviously, you know, your standards like your Messi's, your Suarez. Obviously, like in previous years, it was Ronaldo, Neymar, Iniesta, Xavi, people like that. Like Yeah, they've always got like some pretty good top end players, but now for this current stage of the game and the state of what most people's clubs are going to be in, I don't feel like BBVA is the best one to go for. So I'm going to go for Bundesliga and Premier League. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm not going to rabbit on too much more now. Like I said, I don't really know exactly what I'm going to do, so I'm not going to sort of say stuff and change. So if you did enjoy the video, you can drop a like on it if you like. Obviously, feel free to comment to let me know what you think. If there's any players I've missed out or any players you kind of disagree with, feel free to subscribe as well if you haven't already, and turn the notification bell on, you know, because that'll give you notifications when my latest videos do drop and when my first one comes out on the console, which I'm super hyped for now. Yeah, hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.